The year was 1982, and I responded to a call from radio of a toddler that wasn't breathing. And when I arrived on scene, there was fire, and Vanessa was not alive, and there was obviously injuries to her body at that time.
Vanessa died a very violent death. She died of peritonitis of the intestine, ruptured intestine as a result of a severe blow to the abdomen. And in addition, her death certificate revealed hair-pulling trauma, cigarette burns. She had a broken wrist and a fractured skull. And she died a very painful, agonizing death. And that's when I found out about crisis nurseries. There was none within the entire Pacific Northwest. And so I gathered some friends and acquaintances together. We formed a board, started raising money, and this is the result. We've impacted many, many thousands of lives. Experts tell us that children carry a good experience with them for a lifetime, and we know that to be true. But we know that we've got a positive impact and perhaps even saved the lives of many, many thousands of children by taking them out of an abusive situation and putting them in a very caring, nurturing situation and helping their parents at the same time.
In July 28th, my husband of 28 years was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer, and only made it till December 4th, so I'm parenting alone again. Ashley, my biological daughter, had a drug history and is a recovering addict. She's 2 years into her program, but when Jalen was born, it was either bring Jalen with us or possibly lose her to the system and never know what was going to happen to her again. And we just, a lot of soul searching, a lot of praying. Ultimately, the decision was Papa's. He came upstairs one morning crying, carrying his Bible, and said, "We have to keep her." And we did. When we brought Jalen home, I was working and Tom was working, and I was going to work and then running up to the hospital to feed her. And after about a month of that, I was so worn out I couldn't stand it. And I thought, well, geez, I know that we could take a child that was in danger to Vanessa. And then I got a brochure or a newsletter that talked about a papa that had used the nursery because he had some kids and he was tired. And I thought, I might just give him a jingle. And sure enough, I told them my situation, and they said, well, I'm gonna start crying. They said, well, bring her right over. And I said, well, should I get her formula and her diapers and some clothes? No, just bring her. Just bring her. So I did, and she stayed a whole day, and it was the first time in probably 3 months, actually, that I had slept more than 4 hours in a night. Also, we had some issues at first when the baby was born with her safety and threats made. So Vanessa was a very safe refuge. I remember one time the caseworker called and said, get her together, we're taking her to Vanessa where she's safe, because threats were being made to Tom and I about keeping her from the biological dad. And it's been a rough road, but we've had, Vanessa's been our go-to. It's just been a blessing to both Tom and I, and now especially with him gone. They were bonded at the hip. She is the child that he never was able to have biologically. So when we got Jalen, he took parenting classes all on his own, signed up at Vanessa and took them, went to the first one before he told me anything about it. Well, now that Ashley is getting healthy and we're gonna co-parent a little bit, she and I will be taking classes in September together. I don't want people to think that you're not a good parent if you ask for the help, because that's what kept me from asking for a long time. I'm not Superwoman, I can't do it, and I want people to know that if they get to that point in their lives, to please draw on the nursery. It's a wonderful resource and the best place ever for your kids.
We're very distressed that we're not able to take on as many as approach us. We're having to turn away an extraordinary number of people as it is. One of the things I'm most proud of is the fact that we have become, we flourished through private donations exclusively. We do not accept public money, tax dollars of any kind. That's important to know that 100% of your money is going to help children. We had hoped in the beginning that the community would accept us with open arms and provide the financial assistance that we need to succeed, and they have.